So I've played the early access of FIFA 21 for a couple days now, and I thought I should give a review for everyone still undecided on FIFA 21 and you want to hear my opinions before you maybe buy it or pre-order it. And for what it's worth, I am more of a career mode player, so Ultimate Team, Pro Clubs, Volta as well, it's not something I really care too much about. But I'm still going to give my thoughts on the game modes, and also for what it's worth, this is going to be a real review. I'm not a game changer, not part of anything to do with EA, not getting paid from EA to make this. This is a real review. I've been playing FIFA since FIFA 99 on the PS1, so FIFA is definitely in my blood, so that is why I do what I do on YouTube with this game. If you do enjoy today's review, please leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, you want to catch some FIFA 21 content, we do a lot of things here, so make sure you subscribe today. There's a few things we need to talk about, and these are going to be some key removals in the game this year compared to FIFA 20. So it's important to know that Martin Tyler and Alan Smith, who were a commentary team in a lot of FIFA games, they've now been removed in my build of the game. So you're going to be stuck with Derek Ray and Lee Dixon for every game mode, each match you play, unless you turn the commentary language off. Of course, if you're in different languages, there's different commentary teams, but for English, it's Derek Ray and Lee Dixon only. Martin Tyler and Alan Smith appear to have been removed from the game. Now, in terms of other removals from FIFA 20 to FIFA 21, Italian Serie B is now gone, the Chilean League is now gone, Colombian League gone as well, and you'll catch a few teams maybe in the rest of the world section for the Serie B, but in terms of having a full league, they're not available anymore in the game. So let's talk about Volta, and Volta gameplay last year did feel very, very slow. It basically felt like you were playing grass FIFA, but on a street court, and that is definitely not a good combination. This year though, I am impressed with the Volta gameplay improvements. The gameplay for me feels much quicker, and it's much more responsive, which makes it more fun and enjoyable to play. The Volta shooting has improved as well. Volta is going to be Volta though, it's not going to be the saviour of a FIFA game, but it's still fun to play a couple matches here and there with the improved gameplay this year. Now you can also party up with some friends and play Volta online if you're interested in that. There's also a story mode that you can play with. It goes for a couple of hours, but that probably is the best way to enjoy Volta at the moment. There is squad battles in there, but I don't think many people are interested in Volta. If you're going to play career mode, if you're going to play foot, you're still going to be playing those games. Nothing is going to switch you to Volta from, the current hardcore modes in the game. But I will say to EA that I am happy with the improvements to the Volta gameplay. It does feel much better than FIFA 20. Now in terms of Pro Clubs, I am not a Pro Clubs player. Never played one match of Pro Clubs in my life. But from what I've heard, there are not many improvements, and there's definitely some bugs that are still plaguing the game mode. We all knew the fate of Pro Clubs this year when EA did their unveiling. They only announced two new things like the customization stuff and the tactics. So I think if you're looking for a Pro Clubs review, you might want to check out someone else on YouTube for that, but I think it hasn't really changed much from last year. So let's talk about career mode now, and I've played a couple hours of career mode this year so far, and it's definitely an improvement over FIFA 20. EA was advertising career mode as one of the biggest improvements in a long time, and I would have to agree with that, but it's still not a whole brand new mode. It still feels fundamentally the same as FIFA 20 career mode with some nice improvements that everyone wanted to see. Now with this review, I want to focus on the new stuff EA added, because we all know that there's going to be heaps of things carrying over from FIFA 20's career mode. In the future, I would love to see more improvements to career mode like sponsors, staff members, and also much more, but at the moment this year's improvements are pretty good. So there's a new player conversion system in the game, and I've already converted many players using this new feature. I've made cams and CDMs into centre mids to help them fit better into my formations, and I've made wingers, strikers now, and I will say that this is a very nice feature, and I think a lot of people will use this feature when they play the game. There's also the new visual sim, and this is something I haven't used much at the moment, but it's a nice thing to have in the game. I do prefer to play most of my games in career mode. The visual sim is for those people that want more control in sim games. Maybe you want to sim a big game and you don't feel like playing it, but you still want to have a bit of control. This is for you. You can jump in and out of the match within seconds, which is nice, and you can take control of key moments like a penalty, a free kick. The one complaint I do have with the visual sim though is that it is very, very long. It takes like 5 or 6 minutes to get through a visual sim. So EA definitely needs to find a way to speed it up a little bit because it's a bit boring at the current pace. So there's also a new training feature in career mode, and this feature is okay, but pretty much you're just training your players for match sharpness now, not trying to increase their player attributes. You need to do the drills at least once. If you don't do that and you just choose to simulate from the start, you will keep getting a D score when you simulate these sessions, so it's definitely important to get the best score you can at least once. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to approach training. I think at the moment using the reserves in training is better because it does give them a match sharpness boost, and it's also giving your first team a rest. The first team doesn't really need to train because they're playing the matches anyway, so their sharpness and attributes are going to grow. But the reserves are the ones that need the training, so that's what I've been doing at the moment, just putting the reserves through the training while resting the first team. It's also nice to start with a pre-populated youth academy now, so you don't need to scout players from day one. You're going to have a couple guys ready to go in each save. It's also nice not having to select kits before each game. It saves you a bit of time because the game does it automatically now. And the predicted lineup before you get into the game is also pretty cool. It allows you to see maybe which players are going to play for the opposition, and you might want to change your tactics based on that. Now, transfer negotiations have also been improved, and the AI will send you numerous loan with option to buy offers for different kinds of players. You can also take the buy option out of the loan deal, but sometimes you will get rejected on that. You can also send these types of offers to other clubs as well. Now, the AI can also offer you player swap proposals in the transfer system, which is a new feature this year, but I haven't received any yet when I've been playing. Most of the other transfer systems in career mode though have not changed much since FIFA 20. It's still pretty much the same cutscenes. There's also the new negotiation strictness setting, which is also a nice little feature as well because it allows you to have a very strict career mode. It's going to be much harder to sign players on this mode, but I will say that you have to be careful. If you want to, sign players, you might want to keep it on loose because the strict version is going to make it very, very hard to sign decent world-class talent. There's also a financial takeover setting, which is also a good feature, and each save will let you set a budget for the club. You can turn this feature off though and keep like the default budgets, but if you're looking to inject more cash into your club, which can be useful, then you can, obviously tweak the bumper to set a different amount for your club. Overall, career mode this year for me feels like a nice little upgrade, giving you more things to do. But because I'm a harsh career mode critic, I still want things like sponsors, staff members, stadium upgrades, and in the future kit creators, all that kind of stuff. The game mode is still a few years behind other sports titles, but in terms of a FIFA career mode, it's one of the biggest improvements. But I will say, based on my couple hours of gameplay, I am having fun with career mode this year. I'm not talking about player career mode though, that one is still pretty much dead. There's been no improvements to that this year once again, so if you want to play player career, just know there is nothing new again in this mode. It's all about the manager mode this year. So in terms of FIFA Ultimate Team, foot is foot every year. You know what you're getting when you play foot each year. It's going to be a game mode where you need the best players to compete. It's all about the packs, the microtransactions, the FIFA points, all that kind of stuff. There is a nice stadium upgrade feature this year, which is cool for the players. Fitness has also been removed in the game mode, which could be a good thing for everyone. There's also foot co-op, which lets you play Ultimate Team with some friends. But ultimately, foot is going to be determined by its servers. Some say the menus are laggy as well on the consoles though, so keep that in mind. But ultimately, we shall see how the gameplay holds up when the servers reach full capacity. In terms of the actual online gameplay, I'm not the best person to ask because I don't really play much foot all year. But from what I've seen, I've heard that there's some weird bugs in the game mode already. Defending is harder online this year as well. The game requires you to concentrate more as well online. Some matches are definitely goal fests, and pace is also important online, and 1v1s against the keeper are pretty easy to score as well. If you want to know more about foot gameplay, definitely watch the usual foot YouTubers and stuff, because online gameplay could be different to offline gameplay. So let's talk about FIFA 21 gameplay. Now, I usually say that gameplay is something you need to try out yourself, because everyone has a different opinion, and everyone feels a different way when they play FIFA games. This year for FIFA 21 there's no demo, so it's pretty hard to try it out for free and see the gameplay for yourself unless you want to pay for that EA Play trial that gives you 10 hours early access, or you want to pick up the full game and play it for yourself. So for those people that are still on the fence, it's very hard to see what the gameplay is going to be like in FIFA 21. Now before we actually talk about gameplay, keep in mind that EA could patch the gameplay at any time, so things could change from what I'm saying here in this video. But when it comes to offline gameplay this year, most of it feels very similar to FIFA 20. The fundamentals of FIFA gameplay haven't changed much this year. It's still got that arcade feel that we all know about, but there are definitely some new things though, including the better AI runs, agile dribbling, directed runs, and more. Now to be honest, I haven't used too much of these new features though, probably because my brain still defaults to playing FIFA the normal way, using very basic controls. So I do wonder at times if these things are just gimmicks because I don't really use them that much, but I will say though, for offline players and probably online as well, it feels like pace is incredibly important this year, and FIFA games have always been about pace, but this year it's important again. Slow players will definitely feel slow like a Harry Maguire or something, and fast players like a Rashford, Ousmane Dembele, they're going to feel super fast at times. Even Daniel James felt fast for me. A major issue that some people have reported as well is that in the early access build, midfielders aren't tracking or engaging in defensive duties or shape at all. 1v1 seems to be the cause, and this was reported by Anthony on Twitter. So there might be a few AI issues that emerge, and there's people that are testing the gameplay properly as we speak. But aside from those issues, it's pretty much the same usual FIFA gameplay. You can exploit the AI the same way you could in previous FIFAs. If you've got players with a lot of pace, they can outrun a lot of players on the field. 1v1s with the keeper, you just pick a side and most of the time it'll go in. But sometimes, the keeper does make a good save depending on the overall of the goalkeeper. Now, in terms of passing, I would say that it does feel a bit more weightier this year, a bit heavier, but it's not on the level of a PES game, obviously. So maybe online is different. Maybe it's my career mode team being so good, but I do feel like passing is quick at the moment, and you can do some nice little build-ups and counters with the passing this year. In terms of dribbling, it's a little bit of a weird one. I can't really describe it. The game allows you to do nice and quick touches to get out of sticky situations. Players with good dribbling stats are definitely going to dominate. They're going to excel. If you've got clunky players that are not good with the ball, then, they're not going to do too well, which does make sense. I don't really have much of a problem with dribbling at the moment, but I'm not really a proper skiller either. I just pass and move, take the shots here and there. I'm not really the one to do all the skill moves and stuff. Now, defending definitely feels weightier this year. If you time a tackle wrong, like a hard tackle holding down the circle button, your player is out of the game for at least a second. It's very hard to recover sometimes. I do want to say that at least on offline difficulties, the defenders that I have, they feel like they're a second behind the attacker. So if you watch my gameplays, you might notice that the defenders are like 1 second slower than the attackers. But that's what I feel like. It could be maybe that I'm just bad at defending this year. Maybe my timing is off, but I do feel like timing is important because if you get it wrong, it's hard to recover. Now, attacking wise, FIFA 21 still has the same exploits as FIFA 20. Pass it to a Sancho or Dembele down the wing. Their defenders won't really catch up to you most of the time. You just pick a side against the keeper and score. You can do many of those goals each game. 1v1s are still pretty easy against the keeper most of the time. And any shot with a bit of power is going to pretty much fly past the keeper. I don't know, I still think it's pretty easy to score similar goals each match in FIFA 21. But we all know what FIFA exploits are like by now in offline gameplay. But I think over the next couple of weeks, as people get used to the gameplay meta and stuff, there's going to be people that are proper gameplay enthusiasts talking about the underlying issues in the AI, like movements and tracking and all that kind of stuff. Right now, it just feels the same as FIFA 20, maybe a few differences here and there, but the exploits are still there, and I'm not really noticing too much of a change there. I will say that if you maybe want a more realistic gameplay, then PES is probably going to be the best bet once again this year. FIFA gameplay is still pretty much a pick up and play sort of game. Now let's talk about the difficulty. So Legendary AI, sometimes that is too easy. Sometimes, in career mode and stuff, you can just roll over teams pretty easily on the Legendary AI. Ultimate difficulty is still pretty much the same as FIFA 20s. They're still sometimes crazy. Now there's also a new thing called competitor mode. And this was a new thing added on top of the difficulty this year. You can turn it on or off. And this transforms the gameplay to give it more of a feeling that you're playing a real esports pro. Now this mode is only available on top of Legendary and Ultimate difficulty though. And for me, the competitor mode turns the AI into some sort of like FIFA Street mode where they just spam skill moves every time. I will say that they're much more unpredictable with the mode turned to on, but it does make you dizzy when you try to defend against them, try to watch them play, because all they do is just start doing skill moves at any part of the field. Any player on the field will just start turning the game into FIFA Street. So I turned it off in the end because it did make me a bit dizzy while I'm playing. Ultimate difficulty with competitor mode on is going to be very, very hard. Ultimate difficulty is hard, but it depends on what team you verse. Sometimes you can get really easy games as well. Legendary with competitor mode, it's doable, you can still beat them. Legendary without the competitor mode, sometimes it's very easy, sometimes they give you a good match. But, of course, on top of all this, you can use sliders in the game that let you tweak individual parts of the gameplay to your liking. So there's going to be people that test this out and stuff, and eventually we'll get a set of sliders that will work for the majority of people for the gameplay. In terms of the graphics, FIFA 21 looks pretty good on current gen consoles. We still have the Frostbite engine, but maybe they should move on to a new engine soon since PES is going to be using the new Unreal Engine next year in their game. So it does feel like FIFA has now hit its limit using the Frostbite engine, so I do recommend they change the engine in the future. We might actually get better gameplay as well because of the engine, but you still have generic faces for players like Greenwood, but there is an injection of new faces this year like a Bruno Fernandes and a few other players. Lighting changes are also noticed inside stadiums, and little details like the goals moving when the ball hits it, and the overall matchday presentation is pretty nice to look at as well. Now I've noticed as well that maybe kit textures appear to be upgraded as well. So there's nothing wrong with the graphics in FIFA games, but I will say that the gameplay just feels like an incremental update over FIFA 20. It's not trying to be different to FIFA 20, it's just trying to improve it. Would I say that the gameplay has improved since FIFA 20? I would say that it feels a little bit faster compared to FIFA 20, which felt a little boring at times, but we're still in the early days of the FIFA 21 cycle, so future patches could make the gameplay better or worse. We just don't know what's coming at the moment. Now, one thing that is good with FIFA 21 this year is that EA is going to be offering a free upgrade from the current gen to the next gen consoles. If you secured a new console recently, FIFA 21 will have a patch where you can download it and play the next gen version, which will have some improvements like haptic feedback on the PS5 controller, some new player attributes and movements and stuff, maybe some better lighting, and maybe graphical improvements here and there. The SSD, of course, in the menus and stuff, it should not feel laggy anymore. But I am expecting most of FIFA 21 on next gen, in terms of the game modes and stuff, to be pretty much the same, plus maybe some gameplay tweaks. Now, you can also take over your Volta and Foot progress between the generations of consoles, but career mode and pro clubs cannot be transferred, so that is a little bit of a negative there. So overall, FIFA 21 looks to be an incremental update, but with key improvements in certain areas. It still feels like the same FIFA experience fundamentally, and for some, that could be a good thing. For some, that's a bad thing since they're sick of the same game over and over. You get a decent career mode this year with massive improvements to different things, and the latest rosters will be in the game as well. So if you want your FIFA fix, if you want your football fix, maybe you're a career mode player, FIFA 21 maybe is worth a buy for you, but if you're still skeptical about buying the game, I would suggest waiting for November, December, where you may get the game on discounts, and that gives you heaps of time as well to see if people start complaining about the game and if there's any flaws. So that's pretty much my FIFA 21 review. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments. Make sure you subscribe for more FIFA 21 content by me, and if you need something else to watch, please hit the card in the middle. It'll take you to another video of mine. I'll see you next time.